Hey folks, we're kind of back. We're here again. Hi. We're just going to hang out for a little while.
Welcome to the podcast where it's all about living your love story and making your life and world a story where love wins. My name is Sienna.
And my name is Toast. We've been partners in life, love, and music since 2001. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
We hope this finds you healthy, reasonably so. We hope this finds you happy, reasonably so. I've definitely found myself answering that question of, so how's it going?
Oh, when you talk to yourself?
Because that's all I have to talk to these days. It's all I have to talk to is myself. No, with friends and stuff.
You can talk to me.
With friends, like if you get on a Zoom call or if you're, texting or it's like, hey, how is it going? And that caveat at the end of like, well, pretty good. All things considered. That phrase, all things considered, is just a way to acknowledge the collapse of society.
Isn't that Krista Tippett?
No, that's NPR. All things considered. National Public Radio.
All right.
Okay.
So we're getting back in the swing of things. We are here. We are still working on a bunch of different lovely projects because if anything, this past COVID year has taught us to not put things off that we feel brings us joy. So we're doing a lot of different things these days, but we are coming back to the podcast 1 to 2 times per month versus weekly.
Yeah,
right?
So we're just being upfront and letting you know that's what our intention is going forward. Right. So 1 to 2 episodes a month is what you probably can expect of us going forward. Now, if you missed it, we put out some videos of us singing you some Christmas carols during the Christmas season. So if you need some warm and fuzzy,
go get some warm and fuzzy.
See us on Instagram.
But
it's at Sienna and Toast.
But it's only for people who like Christmas music, who aren't ashamed
right.
of listening to it beyond the season. Because I found out that there are people that detest Christmas music. Did you hear me gurgle?
Yes. What was that? That's a strange little creature in your throat.
Why does that happen?
I don't know. Something to do with the biology of saliva?
I don't know, but it did sound like
Physics?
Something was living in there.
Okay.
But some people detest Christmas music. And I know of at least one of our listeners that just detests it. And so...
How come? Was there a story to go with that?
Well, I think it's known that you either love Christmas music or hate it. I don't think there's middle of the roaders. I don't know if that's true.
I think it also depends on when you catch someone, because I can definitely be a middle of the roader, but it just depends on what mood you catch me in. We're going.
When would that?
We
mood
are
be,
like
though?
off of our notes. We prepared for this episode by making show notes, and we're already falling off our notes.
But when would the middle of the road time
like
be?
Now. Like
now.
Oh,
okay. Well, because it's
in
not
the middle
the
of February.
Yeah,
I'm like, nah.
You could care less. You couldn't care less. Literally, Toast.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not used to doing this now.
I know. We're out of
all right
podcast practice.
So go back if you want to watch the notes. Any of those things. Oh, and what was so funny is that we knew we wanted to do music videos. Just something for the holidays to just bring some cheer for the people that love Christmas. Mm-hmm. And we had this grand idea of getting everything really ready way in advance. And then come December, we hadn't done anything. And it was the week of December 15th, I believe it was.
We sound so undependable, yeah.
And so, but we are so dependable in so many different ways. We really are. Okay, but anyways, and so we just crammed and did it all in a Saturday.
Yes.
outfit changes, the whole deal. It was pretty exhilarating and kind of fun.
Yeah.
And what was great about that?
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when you're a little kid and you put on a show.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But what was great is that because it was either we do it then or we just don't do it at all, it helped us from obsessing. Because I think, we would just do one take, maybe 2 takes, and then that's it. And we had to move to the next song. But I think if we had planned it way in advance, we would have spent way long on each song.
Yeah, I'm exhausted just thinking of it.
So it worked out, basically, is what I'm saying. It worked out. Okay. So we're still kind of going back and reviewing important things like January 20th.
Inauguration Day. Oh my God, I was so excited. And what a surreal experience to know that so many fellow citizens across the nation were also so excited. And we're just in our homes, staring at the TV, or having it on in the background. We have Hulu. So I had Hulu on, and just watching it all day and just trying to imprint these visuals on my mind to take it in.
Yeah.
Living in this historic time. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
I was very... The thing that I guess surprised me the most was the last TV special that they had with, what was it called? Celebrating America or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that was so good.
But it opened with Bruce Springsteen doing just a solo acoustic performance in front of the Lincoln Memorial. And what I loved about that big special was how they had little featurettes of just normal, everyday citizens. Introducing acts, sharing about their contributions to their community. And because these were everyday people, they're not in expensive designer ball gowns at some inaugural ball that they had to pay these huge fees to get into. They're just everyday citizens. There was a feeling of really being included and acknowledged as Americans.
Yeah.
And that was an unexpected kind of emotional impact that it had on me that I really appreciated. And it felt, I guess it just added to the feeling of Biden-Harris getting in there.
But they're everyday people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just
they were not born on golden toilets.
Right.
And then to cap it off, I remember the grand finale number was Katy Perry. And they announced her and we're like, oh, okay. What song is she going to sing? I don't know. And then she starts singing and Sienna and I look at each other because we've always had a chuckle about that song. The song was Firework. And we've always had a chuckle about how the first verse of that song says, do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
Yeah.
I love that. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? No, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess sometimes I do feel like a plastic bag. It was, we were like, what? Oh my God, she's going to sing this song. And
she did amazing.
And she did fantastic.
Yeah.
And just as she launches into the first pre-chorus or chorus, she turns, the camera turns, and the Washington Monument is in the background, and the fireworks start going off. And I gotta admit, the cynical part of me goes, okay, that's kind of cheesy. But it kept going. The fireworks kept going.
It won you over. They won you over.
And it blew my head off. I felt like, remember that old Memorex visual, the photo?
People don't know that. I think
these are for the old school folks back in the cassette tape days. Is it live or is it Memorex? And they show a guy sitting,
and his hair's blown back.
They show a guy sitting in a chair from the side, and everything's just blowing back. And that's what I felt like, man. With all the glass,
fireworks. The wine glass is cracked, right?
Oh, I don't remember that part.
I think so.
But yeah, it got me. It got me. It wore me down, and I had the tears coming down my face by the end of that number. And I was just like, whoa, wow. It was such a high. It was such an emotional high.
Yeah.
And that's why over the following 2 weeks, I felt kind of depressed again. Just a contrast, you know?
That's how I feel around Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always have the Christmas blues.
But then
starting on the 24th, knowing it's going to be over soon.
Oh, no.
Anyways, my issues.
But then, you know, you just got to remember, I just remind myself, this is about the long game. You're not living your life for the next day in the calendar. You're living your life for the next generation that is coming after you. It's about the long game. Things are always in process. It's a never-ending process. And something about 2020 was so clarifying. It just helped me to, I guess, get a more macro view of our lives and our lifetimes. And so I have been totally nerding out about this moment in history and comparing it to about 100 years ago of history in our country, and how it was almost nearly exactly 100 years ago in 1910, 1920, 1930s that we were going through as a nation very, very similar things. The seeming collapse of society, the income inequality, the social unrest. There was that pandemic that they had, Great Depression, all of that stuff. And it's actually been a surprising, unexpected form of therapy for myself, emotional therapy, to immerse myself and educate myself about the culture from that time. I've put playlists together incorporating music from that time, and something about being connected with those past generations in that way has really felt therapeutic for me. It's funny how things would just kind of capture you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that we live in a time where, look, I can just go on Spotify and Apple Music, or, you know, and look up these artists and find that kind of, somehow the art just brings you this emotional support.
And I think that I watch too many movies, because sometimes, you know, you're so immersed in all of that I think one day you're going to disappear.
Me personally, me? Yeah. What do you mean?
Because you're gonna like disappear into back in time. You're gonna just disappear and
like
then
in a
go
movie,
into
like Back to the
like
Future.
in a movie would, and you would be like
hilarious.
Go to live that parallel life, and just be somewhere else. And I'm like, where'd you go? What happened? And then we don't know where you went.
Wow.
All right.
That sounds like one of those movies, as you said.
Yeah. We were so fortunate to receive a gift of an annual masterclass membership. Masterclass is just the perfect gift for geeks. It is amazing, and you can kind of like, it's a giant rabbit hole in and of itself, because you can learn, quote unquote, about so many different things. And one of the things that I know Toast and I try to be aware of is just consuming, like getting addicted to just wanting to learn more, and not actually do anything. You know, like do something about it, or just like practice what we've just learned. It's like just consuming all of it, and it's just exhilarating and all of that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I get like that. I get like that.
Information age. That's the danger of it when you can.
God. It's just too much. Yeah. So I did one on marketing. I did one on, I did one on voice. Toast did one on bread baking.
I only got through
it was amazing.
I only got through maybe the first 3 lessons or so. But that's all I needed or wanted, because my whole thing was trying to do the sourdough starter at home. And
you never watched the whole thing?
No, because that class on baking bread or whatever, like, it has all these different recipes. Like, you can bake this kind of bread, or you can bake that kind of bread. And I just want to bake a bread.
So the sourdough classes, you took it to completion.
I learned how to bake the first type of
sourdough
bread. Like, it's a wheat. It's a wheat bread.
All right.
And that's enough for me.
Okay. No, I thought it was just still continuation about this sourdough bread.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I didn't even watch it.
No, but what you're telling me is that there are different recipes.
Yes. There are more recipes that I have not even attempted, and I'm actually not interested in attempting right now, because I love the first bread.
You've done it 3 times now, and they say the starter is the hardest part. And you've done so well with it.
Yeah, I had a fail the first time when I first tried. It failed. I wasn't getting the bubbly starter that they said is what you want. But then...
It's kind of creepy.
Yeah, but then I tried again. And anyway.
Oh my God. And it's like a pet. Like, you have to feed it and watch it and carry it around the house, because you're looking for the most... the ideal environment. And right now in Portland, it's very cold. So you want a certain warmth. And so Toast would be carrying her starter and bringing it into her office, in a little area in her office, because her office is nice and warm. And then later, at the end of the day, she'd be carrying it downstairs and feeding it, and then putting it into the microwave to just keep it in there. But prior to putting it in the microwave, she would heat these rice bags that we have for, when you have like a sore neck, you would heat this little comfort bag. She would heat those in advance to warm up the microwave oven, leaving the bags in there to emit heat and warmth for her starter pet. So
we call them our microbes,
or
whatever they are.
Tell them about that hotel.
Oh, so okay. So in the one of the masterclass videos, that's about how to make your own sourdough starter at home. The teacher just lets you know that once upon a time in Sweden, there was a sourdough starter hotel where, if you were going on a trip, you could leave your sourdough starter with them, and they would feed it for you while you were gone.
Like a pet hotel. It's like a pet hotel.
Oh my God!
Because it's a process. So like, once you have that starter, you don't want it to die. You got to start all over. Yeah, I
do not want it to die. So I have been working on, and so far, pretty good. I've been working on keeping a small amount of starter in the refrigerator for 7 to 10 days or so, so that it slows down the growth, and I don't waste any wheat flour, because that stuff is not cheap.
Yeah. Everyone's making bread. That's why.
Everybody's making bread, and I think that's a great thing.
Yeah. I think this last one that you made is probably the most beautiful.
Well,
I mean, they were all beautiful, actually. But
and a trick. Here's a trick I learned from a friend of ours who are expert bread bakers. I mean, they would bake their own bread way before any pandemic. They've been doing this for a long time.
Remember when they would bring some to our house?
I know.
They would walk it over in a beautiful cloth in a basket.
Gay men.
Oh my gosh. Gotta love gay men.
Gay men.
Love them.
Bread baking gay men.
Yeah.
So
champagne drinking gay men.
As I was learning about, do I really need a Dutch oven? Because all the recipes that I've seen and instructions that I've seen, including this masterclass one, said, okay, you want to use a Dutch oven and put your loaf in there and bake it in there, because it really makes it hotter and it helps the humidity, blah, blah. And we don't have a Dutch oven. And those things are expensive too. So I texted our gay men friends and asked them about it. And they reassured me that, don't worry about it. You really don't need one. What you can do is instead, in the first half of the baking, where in the original recipe you would have the lid on the Dutch oven in the oven, they said what you do is you put in a skillet or another pan with ice cubes into the oven along with your loaf, along with your dough. And that humidity from the ice will kind of simulate the effects of the Dutch oven. It will make the oven more humid, and that's really what you want. So I tried that, and it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been working.
So the first 20 minutes, the ice cubes are in there. After 20 minutes, open the oven door, remove the pan with now it's water, remove that. And yeah, it actually works. So you don't absolutely need a Dutch oven.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was pretty
neat. We nerded out way more on the bread than I thought we would.
Well, it's exciting. Because
for nerds like us.
It's not as easy. Bread is everywhere, but it's not as easy as you think it is to make.
Yeah.
There's so much art involved.
Yeah.
And yet, once upon a time, when you could go to a restaurant and they put that bread on your table and it's freshly baked, you're just like, nom, 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 just eating the bread.
Right, yeah.
But what it takes to,
that's true. Yeah, the
bake
human
bread.
technology. Yeah, the kneading. I still, it kind of cracked me up because, again, with the masterclass video, they're showing you, okay, here's how you knead it. And if you're doing it right, it will look like this at the end. And if you're doing it wrong, it's going to look like this. And mine was so wrong. But it still turned out okay. So, but yeah, what Sienna said, it's not so easy.
I appreciate it.
There's a lot of things that go into it. But I really love, learning and working with the natural world, working with microbes. Yeah. And yeah, it's great. Yeast. I shouldn't say microbes. Working with yeast.
All right. Okay. So on the last couple of podcasts, we talked about another adventure that we are on and creating, and it has everything to do with cats and self-care and self-love and a little bit of woo-woo. And we're still in the process. We hit a bunch of bumps in the road, but they've ultimately got us to a better place, I think. Things are a bit delayed, but if you want to stay up to date on that, you can follow. I kind of revived my personal account on Instagram. So it's at Sienna Lee Tajiri on Instagram. You can follow me there to stay updated on all things woo-woo, cats, self-care, and self-love.
It's a beautiful place to be.
And somehow we'll fall into the rhythm of managing all the accounts. The Sienna and Toast Instagram account will be primarily our podcast and music things. And then Toast has been on her account at Toast Tajiri if you want political rantings and workouts.
No. Okay.
Aren't you going to do some political?
I don't know what the heck I'm going to do.
Well, anyway,
but
here's what
cracks
you can
me up.
follow what you like.
Here's what cracks me up, okay?
Okay.
My most recent post on Instagram was from September 20th, 2015.
Okay. Well, I mean, no pressure. But you have been on it more. So I would just invite people to, they can curate their experience by following, if they,
At Toast Tajiri.
Yes.
We're very straightforward.
Yeah.
We're not straight, but we're straightforward.
Bear I haven't been doing anything with his account, so don't follow Bear. So anyways, just that. So we want to give you a quick update. It has snowed here in Portland. It has snowed here.
The first
snow is still outside
of this winter.
right now. Yeah. And it was a pretty big snow compared to what we've experienced here so far. We've only experienced one big snow when we moved here in 2018, barely anything 2019, barely anything 2020. And then just these past couple of days, a lot of snow.
It was exciting.
It was exciting.
For people who grew up in Hawaii,
yeah,
this level of snow is exciting.
I know. It's kind of embarrassing because it's not really that much, I think.
No, it's not.
For a lot of snow people.
Yeah.
But it is amazing to see everything so white. I love that morning feeling where okay, it snowed through the night and I'm going to open that curtain and I'm going to experience it. Mm-hmm. And everything is just white. And you see the white on the roofs, everything that was green is now white. Mm-hmm. The streets are white, the cars, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to me. And it's beautiful because the cars aren't completely covered, right? It's not that kind of snow.
Right. It's not a scary level of snowfall.
It's still in the beautiful kind of beautiful level. Mm-hmm. But it's just shocking. So we went out just to experience it. And it's kind of dangerous. I mean, it really is dangerous.
When you're not wearing the right shoes.
Yeah.
Then it's,
I mean, I kind of,
it's dangerous.
But I just thought it's snow. Mm-hmm, but it's not. It's not. It's scary.
Slippery ice.
Because you don't know where you are. You don't know what's underneath the snow. And so your foot goes, sometimes it goes down so deep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you can't manage your walking, right? Because you're whoa, and your foot is...
I love the sound it makes.
Way down there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hardly anything, and it's actually quite slippery because it's shiny ice right under a little dusting of snow.
That's the scary part.
We almost slipped twice each, and we were being careful.
Right.
So, I don't know. One of our favorite Portland bakeries had a story on Instagram, and they're encouraging everyone to still come out, come get your Valentine's Day treats at the bakery. We have a lot for you. But their invitation was kind of scared of the snow? Are you scared of the snow? Don't be scared of the snow. And I'm I'm scared of the snow.
Portlanders are scared of the snow, especially people who are originally from Hawaii.
Portlanders.
We're scared.
Yeah. I can't believe we almost slipped so many times. It was just all right, I'm done. Let's go back in the house. And it's hard to make a snowman.
I think, doesn't it depend on how, what kind of snow it is? I think by the time that we got our butts out there, it had, the snow had started to melt a little bit. And so it got harder.
But making a ball is hard. I thought it was hard.
Oh, really? It was so funny. Sienna threw a snowball. She was like, "Can I throw the snowball at you?" And I'm just standing maybe 7 feet away, and I'm like, "Sure." And she throws it at me, and it just lodges itself in my armpit, and it just stays there.
I know. I wanted it to puff on you.
I know,
and break apart.
Yeah.
And anyways, but yeah, I'm scared of snow.
I am so grateful that we moved here though, so that we get the experience of the snowfall.
It's amazing. It's so magical. That's
it really
what
is.
It's magical.
Really is magical. And I got so excited because I saw one little icicle that was probably 2 inches long hanging off of the window in my office. And I was like, "Oh my God, there's an icicle."
I had to laugh at that.
Yeah. Sienna comes in.
Not at you, but I just said, "Oh my God, you're so cute. That's what's delighting you."
All right.
Right on.
Okay.
Take it.
Knock yourself out. But I can absolutely see how if you had 3 to 4 weeks of this, it will get old really quick. Because if you have to shovel this stuff,
if you have places, if you have to go places.
Well, that's the thing.
But if you're just so in your house,
equipped because we don't have the snow tires, and I've never driven on. We've never driven on snow, so we just don't have the tools and the experience to deal with it. I'm sure if you're in some place like Wisconsin, then it's kind of you know how to deal with this. Just like driving in the rain, in Hawaii, it's that's what you do,
right?
But if you're in LA,
you don't know how to drive,
and it rains, you freak out.
Yeah, and you drive so slow.
Yeah.
All right. Last thing we'll end with is that we've been working on a project for Romero Creations.
So Romero Creations is a company that makes specially designed ukuleles they have a whole line of ukuleles.
Bear is here. Watch out.
And guitars.
Watch out.
And they are known for their innovative designs. The Romero in Romero Creations is Pepe Romero Jr. And if you're a classical guitar music fan, you probably have heard the name Pepe Romero. He's like super world famous. He's like royalty, like literal royalty. He's been knighted by in Spain. That's where their family's from. So classical guitar royalty, but his son, Pepe Romero Jr., is a luthier, huge in the world, again, of classical guitar. But what he did a number of years ago is take his expertise in handcrafting. He builds guitars from hand. He took all of that knowledge and applied it to ukulele, along with advice from Daniel Ho, who is an ukulele virtuoso. He's a friend of ours. And the two of them are the force behind their most famous ukulele design, which is called the Tiny Tenor. And they basically invited us to take part in doing a song with one of their instruments. So we have a tiny tenor. So we did a song. We recorded ourselves playing it, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it.
All right. I think that's it for today.
Okay.
That wasn't too bad.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Just a hodgepodge of 30. What did you say?
Because I said thanks for listening, everybody, but the person who's listening is just one person, so that's why I said person.
I thought you were saying it's just one person listening.
Oh. Well,
I mean, that would be fine too. All right. Okay. So, anyways, hope you have a great day. It's nice to be back with all of you. And until next time, this is Sienna.
And this is Toast, inviting you, encouraging you, as always, live your love story.